It's Kate. Thanks for coming to my channel where I explore my super extreme love-hate relationship with fundamentalist dogma. Today I want to explore community, why I love it and hate it so much. So stay tuned. I'm going to actually do this in a series because there's like too much content for me to brattle on a big all long blah blah about it. So hit the subscribe button, hit that little bell, and then you'll know the next time I post a video about community. So community. As a fundamentalist who was raised fundamentalist, who most of my identity was fundamentalist, everything was black and white, I have very mixed emotions about community. Everybody who had the same values were like, tight. And that is the good stuff. I mean, there were potlucks and picnics and cousins and everybody knew everybody and everybody borrowed everybody's everything. And I knew exactly what I had to do to fit in. Problem was I didn't actually fit in. Despite my best efforts of desperately wanting to be welcomed in that community, I just didn't. What I felt like God, universe, love, flow moving through me and telling me was actually really contrary what I was experiencing, which was a lot of fear and shame-based stuff. And I'll talk more about that in another video. But what I want to talk about is how bizarre it is that my own life experience has told me community is incredibly dangerous. Getting yourself locked into any system where there's any set of values that I don't get to decide, dangerous, don't do it. And yet the reality is that when I was unable to continue to conform, my fear of disenfranchisement exactly happened, and I was devastated. I mean, the loss is beyond me. I would wake up having anxiety attacks. Desperate, I had missed some meeting or gathering and didn't know who my friends were, and instantly they were gone. Obviously, there's more videos to be made about how unhealthy that community was. But what I didn't learn was that I didn't need community. What I learned was I really, really, really enjoy being in direct connection with other people and caring deliberately about the well-being of somebody else and being in this whole life of journey together. And I couldn't abandon the concept of community even if I knew that wasn't my community. So instead, what I learned was community is crazy important to me. And why? Why can't I be logical in my head and say, this isn't your jam. You're not what they want. Probably no community wants you. And you know all that ugly self-talk we do to try to convince ourselves that we have no tribe. Little secret, you do have a tribe. You do. I do. I need it. And why? So I have a theory. It's my amateur theory. But my theory is, you know how you get stressed. You feel a lot of pressure. Something's happening. Maybe it's a report due. And your body responds to that stress by creating adrenaline. So you have energy to do it. And even cortisol. And those things are fantastic in our biological, historical imprint that told us that if we were feeling those feelings, maybe we were being chased by a tiger. And we needed to have those things to give us the energy to outrun a tiger. But in our modern world, we're actually not running from tigers. Yet we have this historical truth in our bodies that make us get super, super, super stressed out in a way that's unhealthy for our bodies to retain, which is why meditation is such a big deal. You should try it. It's amazing. Which is why exercising is such a big deal, to get all of that toxin, stress, and extra energy and adrenaline out of your body, especially for me, because obviously I have adrenaline in spades. And that whole system isn't a system where we say, I was able to convince my body that I no longer needed to have that kind of stress response, and therefore I don't honor it. We still have to honor what our bodies are communicating to us, even if the historical application is now different in our new current context than whenever it was actually what would the word be? Yeah, imprinted on our biological level. So somewhere in our history of what it means to be human, I think we recognized we needed humans around us for protection, for self-preservation, because, well, you couldn't be a hunter and a cook and the tent maker and the child bearer. You couldn't do it all. You needed a community to help your survival. And even if we think that we don't need it anymore, we have to honor what our body's telling us, because depression from loneliness is real. I just heard a statistic that said that 1 in 5 adults reports being lonely. And we know now that the science says it's just as dangerous for us as like smoking, because the chemicals that are released when we feel lonely are just as real as the damaging result of things like cigarette smoke or excessive adrenaline. Anyway, I think that's part of why I cannot get away from community. I want it. I desperately want to know that I'm being cared for and I'll care for others. I want to not live my whole life alone. I want to not journey it alone. And I go through like waves. Like sometimes I am so okay with my lonely space and just knowing that I have a person or two I could call 3 a.m. if I needed to. But I have to honor the truth that somewhere in my being, because I'm human and that's not going to change anytime soon, is this need to connect. I have to honor it. And that means I have to do the scary work of exploring again what it means to try to find my tribe, or maybe to even create one if I can't find it already in existence. I'm excited to go on this journey with you. If you guys have experienced similar things or have a story you want to share about what it's like to have this situation like I have, where you wish you didn't need community and you wanted to abandon the whole concept, and yet you have this compulsion almost, this draw, this need to be in connection. Comment below. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.